Hey guys, Mike here. So today, I'm here to talk to you about Tolkien. In this review, I'll be going over a brief summary of the plot, my quick thoughts about the film, and whether or not you guys should go and see it. So I'm going to try and keep this review spoiler-free. However, if you don't know anything about the film, and you want to go in completely blind, then let's just come back to this video once you've seen the film. So with that, let's get started, shall we?
A fellowship.
So Tolkien stars Nicholas Hoult as J.R.R. Tolkien. You may remember him from X-Men Days of Future Past and from Mad Max Fury Road. In Tolkien, we see the story of real-life author J.R.R. Tolkien, from being orphaned at a young age, to meeting his friends, to going to Oxford, fighting in World War I, and then eventually writing The Hobbit. Now, first of all, I absolutely love Lord of the Rings. It's one of my all-time favourite movie trilogies. And despite that, I didn't really know much about the man who wrote the books. So, I was hoping to find out a lot more about the man who wrote it and how he took inspiration to eventually write the book. Actually, first, I want to talk about the things that I did like. First of all, Nicholas Hoult, he is good in this role. I did like his performance as J.R.R. Tolkien. Though the one thing I will say about Nicholas Hoult, he's definitely one of the least convincing 18-year-olds. Because the youngest age it shows Nicholas Hoult as J.R.R. Tolkien is about 17, 18, and at no point did I think I was watching a 17 or 18-year-old. It kind of reminded me of the Jump Street movie. It's like he's trying to infiltrate the school to find out all the information he can. And I must say that I could not stand the younger actors, because I know it's supposed to reflect how people talked back then, but all it did was come across as wooden, unnatural, and just really obnoxious, more so than it needed to be. But thankfully, the movie doesn't spend too much time on the kids. The movie instead focuses more on his later teens to his mid-20s. I like the way this movie's directed, I like the cinematography, and as a whole, it's a fairly well-made movie as a whole. And one of the other things I did find interesting was Tolkien kind of going through his fictional language, and just language in general, from making up words to giving meanings to words that don't necessarily have the same meaning as to what they are commonly attributed to. It was just interesting to see so much passion just go into language. And pretty much every time they make a noticeable reference to either The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings and how he took inspiration from these things to write those stories. But unfortunately, where this movie falls flat for me is it didn't really put much into him actually writing the books. I mean, the movie I draw parallels from is Goodbye Christopher Robin. Now at the start, you see the man who wrote the books in World War I and how it affected him, how he took inspiration to write the books, him writing the books, how it made an impact on the modern world, and the aftermath of what this did to his family. And all of this in about the same length as Tolkien. But instead in Tolkien, what we get is him taking inspiration for writing the books, going to write the books, and that's it. The movie literally ends on him saying the title for the book and writing like the first one or two lines. And the parts that I really wanted to know was just literally written in that text that they write at the end of every kind of biopic. In all honesty, I walked out of Tolkien really, really hating this movie. Because though I didn't know what exactly I was going to get, I found I was very disappointed with what I got. Though, the more I thought about it, the less I have taken a disliking to this one. Because it is well directed, for the most part it's well acted, and it is a decent movie. But I just thought that the man who contributed the most to modern fantasy deserved a much, much better movie. Because I didn't feel like I got a movie about J.R.R. Tolkien, the man who wrote The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Instead, I got one about John Robert and his mates and his girlfriend. Because another thing as well, for the most part, this is just Romeo and Juliet. I mean, him and his love interest, played by Lily Collins, the two of them spend most of their time just being like, oh, we can't be together, what, the world's keeping us apart. And I just kept thinking, oh man, I don't want to watch Romeo and Juliet, I want to watch Tolkien. Though I know this is probably how his real life went, or if you believe probably other rumours and the family said that this is nothing like his life and they want it completely scrubbed for the record, it just was not what I wanted out of this movie. I mean, probably the most interesting part about his life was him fighting in World War I, and collectively, all the scenes put together, he probably spends about 20 minutes in World War I, and you barely get to see the impact that it had on him. I mean, sure, he showed that he was shaken a bit from World War I, but it didn't really go to the fullest lengths that it possibly could to show how it probably either broke him or the people around him. I mean, you know how it goes. World War I, the war to end all wars, and it barely seemed like he even went there at all. But to the movie's credit, I did really feel the camaraderie that him and his friends had. You can really see how he took inspiration from each one of his friends to write The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. But ultimately, like I said, I was just so disappointed with this. But now, as for whether or not you guys should go and see it, if you asked me the instant I walked out of the movie theatre whether you should have gone to see this, I would have told you no, steer clear of this. This is one of the worst things I've seen this year. But thinking on it a bit more and being a bit more generous, it's honestly not as bad as I've probably been making it out to be. I mean, if someone was to walk out of this film and tell me that they really liked it and it was an honest representation of Tolkien, then I'd completely understand that. I can see why they would think that. But for me personally, I was just really bored with this and I just did not get what I wanted to get out of this movie. So in a nutshell, if you want to see a movie about Tolkien, then this is what you'll get. But if you're like me and you wanted to find out a bit about J.R.R. Tolkien, then you'll be a bit disappointed. Okay guys, that's my review of Tolkien. If you've seen it, what did you think about it? And what's your favourite biopic about a famous writer? Whatever it is, drop it in the comments below. Until next time, I've been Michael. See ya!